Alright guys, so what I want to do today is show you how I take what most people discard and turn it into something awesome. We're going to make a venison bone stock today with little bits of venison meat on it, and we'll do some other things with it once it's done. This will be a multi-part video that I'll have to edit together with YouTube Editor because it's a multi-part process. I have the oven running on convection roast at 425 degrees. If your oven does not have convection roast, just set it to 425 degrees. I have salt and pepper on my venison bones. All I want to do here really is brown them. I also have put a thin layer of spray oil on the foil so that it will not stick while it's in the oven. It's going to go into the oven for about 30 minutes. Again at 425 degrees, maybe 45. I'll just look at it and make a determination for myself if I think it's brown enough. In it goes, and we'll be back to show you the next step. All right, so phase 2, got the camera warming up, and the bones are out of the oven. Again, this was 30 minutes at about 425 degrees on a convection roast. Again, you can do that in a regular oven, just if you have the convection roast. I think it does a nicer job of getting a good brown on them. And these are that's basically the shoulder blade, and this is the lower shoulder bone. And again, most people discard this. I might leave a little more meat when I'm deboning them because I know I'm going to do this, but most of that would just go to waste for most people. So we got them into a pot. We're going to add some water. Enough to more than cover them. I'll probably add a little more water after the camera's done. If you look in here, these little screws, I usually fill up to about right there. That gives me a good vantage point to monitor how much water I'm losing, and you're going to keep adding water while this is going as it cooks down. All right, so ingredients, very, very simple. Salt, we've got to refill the salt box, but that's about 2 tablespoons of salt, somewhere in that neighborhood. And I really like to use dehydrated vegetables for this stock. I'm actually going to strain these out at the end. These are more of a flavor additive, and the dehydrated vegetables release a lot of flavor. So I do about 2 capfuls of dehydrated carrot pieces, and onions, about 2 capfuls of those. And it just brings a lot of flavor to the stock. Celery, same thing, about 2. And I'm not real precise with it. It's just kind of something that keeps me from going overboard. Parsley, I like to use fresh parsley, don't have any today, so we'll use some dried. And I use a lot, like about that much. We'll get this simmer burner here going. We'll run it on high. And I got one ingredient missing, and I'm not going to go get it out of the refrigerator. I'm going to throw a few cloves of garlic in there. You guys can figure out what that looks like for yourself. These are black peppercorns, and I'm going to give it a big handful, not quite that big. Big handful of black peppercorns. And we'll bring that to a boil, and we'll reduce it to a simmer, and we'll simmer it for about 4 hours, or 4 to 5 hours, until it looks the way that I think it should look, and we'll catch up. All right, guys, we're back. I bet when I started this, you're thinking he's just going to make some bone stock, but we're starting to add depth and layers of flavor here for our final dish that'll come out of this. These are quail, and I've just quartered them up. Use my Red Yeti shears. These are really the best kitchen shears I've ever found. Quartered them up, and salt and pepper, and just browned them with a little bit of oil. And now they're going to go in there, and that's what we're doing. We're developing layers of flavor here. Stock's been rolling about 3 hours now. I didn't want this in the beginning because they'll just be completely pulverized. I'm going to strain this at the end and get all the little bits of meat out, so it doesn't really matter. But a really good tool to use in this is called a stock sock, and it's basically a little kind of cheesecloth looking bag that you can put things with small bones into when you're making stock, and you just pull the whole thing out. That won't really matter here. Now that's gonna run about an hour to an hour and a half more, and we'll go ahead and get this out. There's a lot of different things you could do here. One, if you didn't have venison bones like I do, you could use beef and make a beef bone stock, and use chicken for your secondary ingredient. If you did have venison and maybe you had a rabbit or a squirrel in the freezer, you could use that instead of the quail. The dogs are going nuts. One other addition here about this point I like to do, some ginger root. And it's just rough chopped. Again, I'm not peeling it. I'm not worried about anything because this is all going to be strained out. That'll go down. I also added a splash of apple cider vinegar right after we shot the last piece to add a little bit of acid to pull out a little bit more of the nutrition from the bones. And we added a little bit of lemon juice, half a lemon, because it was laying around unused. So again, that's going to run about an hour, hour and a half. And I'll start heading toward the final destination with this, but this is going to be cool. It's going to be more than just a jar of bone stock when we're done. All right, so next stage. What I've done, and I didn't think you needed to see this on video, I took a strainer like this, and I strained all the dehydrated vegetables and extras out of the broth, and I stripped down all of the meat off the bones. This is the amount of deer meat that I was able to get off of those 4 soup bones, which is actually a significant amount. If you were using this stock for something else other than what we're doing today, you know, you could make enchiladas or something out of that, no problem. And this is the amount of meat we got off of 4 quail. I want to kind of dispel a myth here. A lot of times when I post videos of cleaning quail and things like that, I hear people say it's not enough meat to be worth the effort. Well, this is 4 quail. I think you could agree that it would be really a reasonable thing to say you could feed 2 adults with each of those portions of protein, and many people would actually feed 4 adults off of that 1 quail apiece. That's a significant amount of meat right there.
3 for sure.
Yeah, you could easily do 3 people. Watch out, Bray, because I want to show you something else over here. This is my grandson, Braylon. This is what the deer bones look like now that we've stewed them for about 6 hours. And we've gotten all the flavor that we can out of them. So what I want to do now, first I want to show you, this is like shoulder meat. This is like the toughest deer meat you'll ever get. And look at it after it's been cooked like that. It just comes apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the venison and the quail back to the pot. Because the quail, since I put it in later, is actually not as tender as I would like it. I'm going to put this on the back burner again. I'm going to simmer this for about another 30 to 40 minutes so that quail gets the way that I want it. And then we'll come back and we'll show you all of the goodies that are going in there. We're going to be putting shiitake mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, snow peas, and some other stuff. This is going to be really awesome for someone to start out with some waste deer bones. Right, we'll catch you back. Close, and I'm getting hungry. Next edition. We've cooked this for a little bit longer. It's actually later in the evening now because I turned it off for a while because we had stuff going on with the grandkids and stuff. But got it simmering again, and now we're going to do the last edition before we serve it, which is going to be mushrooms, and these are oyster mushrooms and shiitake mushrooms, and I find these to be a great combination in a soup like this. It looks like a lot, but it's going to cook down a great deal. We'll probably cook these for about 20 minutes in there. We'll let that flavor of the mushrooms get through all the stock and everything else. We'll let them cook down in volume. That's my grandson pretending to be Chewbacca there.
You ready?
He's on that today. All right, so I'll give them a stir, and we're going to do some veg. We're going to do the veg a little bit different than we normally do. Believe it or not, the camera woman is not going to eat this. I don't understand it, but it's got deer in it, and it's got quails that we raise, and she doesn't want to eat it. And she hasn't been feeling good, too, so maybe that's part of it. But since that huge pot of soup is going to be finished, and if I throw all the veg right in there and cook it, reheating it over the next few days, it's going to really overcook the veg. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the veg ready. I'm going to get this nice simmering, boiling hot, put some veg in my bowl, and then ladle this on top of, let it kind of poach the vegetables that way, and we'll show you what that looks like, and I'm ready to eat after a day of cooking. So the moment's finally here. I'm so hungry. It is now 6:30. I think I shot the first video in this segment at like 9:30 in the morning. So it's not that I haven't eaten today, it's that, man, all day long I've been wanting to eat this. So, like I said, what we did is we got all the veg ready, and we're going to go ahead and put the soup on top of the veg, let the veg kind of poach it. Here's what I got going on. This is some broccoli slaw, and our local Albertsons, don't worry about the grandkids crying in the background, has organic broccoli slaw. You find broccoli slaw at any supermarket. You can just get it. It's carrots and broccoli and some cabbage and some other stuff. We got some arugula and spinach. We got some snap peas. We got some jalapenos. And then right in here, kind of hard to see, we've got some of my patented fermented garlic. So that's in there. We've got a little bit of ginger, and that's all ready to go. And if you look into the pot, come over here, I've got it boiling hot. so that when we do this, this is plenty hot enough to poach those vegetables through. And I want to get down to the bottom, get some meat, get some mushrooms, and get a big old ladle of broth there. My buddy David calls this redneck pho, and it's not far off. Some people call it pho, but it's really pho. All right. Now, you'd think I'm done, but no, not me. I really want to gild the lily today. So here's what we're gonna do next. Well, a basic thing here. Little sprinkle of salt. Add some salt to it. Tegan, you're not old enough yet. A little cracked black, and then right here at the end, 5 quail's eggs. We're just gonna put them in there, and then we're gonna grab just a little bit more of the screaming hot broth. And we're just going to drizzle that over them and let them kind of poach. And they'll need a little time to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and taste this because it's killing me. Okay, if I was Zemro, and I'm not, I'd say bam. If I was Guy Fieri, I'd say it's on point. If I was Bobby Flay, I'd say it's good because he doesn't say stupid catchphrases. I like Bobby Flay. I'm going to say that's damn good. You guys got to give it a try. And hold it right there, camera woman. Like I said, I'm going to gild the lily today. I'm going to go a little bit overboard for a survivalist. A little Optima 20-year-old tawny port to go along with this meal. All in to that whole pot, I've got 20 bucks. I could probably serve 15 people this today for that 20 bucks. What are you going to pay for that in a restaurant? That's lifestyle design.